Where is Hot Toddy? Hope he gets... Wait, I don't have a watch. Hope he gets here soon. Hope nothing weird happens before I finish this scent. What is that? Oh no! Oh no! Okay.
Hello and welcome to an all-new episode of... You start.
Get.
Real.
Okay, wow, that took so long.
I was holding for dramatic effect. And the reason why is because we saw a very dramatic film. Well, it wasn't very dramatic, it was more action-packed.
Yeah.
It had a lot of dinosaurs in it. It had a lot of scary, loud noises in it.
Rawr.
Hey! Rawr.
Rawr.
No, we're talking about the all-new Jurassic Park movie, which is called Jurassic World Dominion. And it's the final installment, is the 6th film in the full Jurassic Park series. It's the 3rd one in the trilogy of Jurassic World. Very interesting, lots to talk about here. I also remembered the very stupid thing that I was talking about, or that I thought was really dumb in the film. Okay. But that's not the whole film. It's not a lot of dumb stuff, but there is some dumb stuff. Like I said, lots to unpack. Miss Pingrino, what did you think of Jurassic World Dominion?
Well, I liked it, but I still haven't seen all the rest of them, so...
Also, it should be noted that we're doing this show at what is like almost 1:30 in the morning right now?
Yes.
On a Monday night. We saw the movie last night. I've been telling her we needed to do this show all day, and what did you do, Miss Pingrino?
I took a nap.
Yeah.
I took a nap.
You did. By the way, I'm Hot Toddy. Did I introduce everybody?
No.
I'm Hot Toddy. That's Miss Pingrino. And yeah, so we're talking about Jurassic World Dominion at very late at night. But see, yes, you admitted that you've not seen all the Jurassic Park movies. The night before we went to go see Dominion, I sat her down and she watched the original Jurassic Park. So she knew who Dr. Grant was, Dr. Sadler, Dr. Malcolm.
Yeah.
And you understood that there was once a place called Jurassic Park that started this whole fiasco
kit and caboodle, yes.
in this weird universe.
Yeah.
So let me ask you this. What did you like more, Jurassic Park or Dominion?
Well...
Go ahead. They can take it.
I mean...
Because I know what you're going to say.
Do you? Because I don't know necessarily what I'm going to say.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
I mean, taking it...
Oh, no. Where's this going?
Surprise, motherfucker.
So each was good for their decades.
Bullshit.
That's a cop-out. That is a cop-out. The biggest cop-out of any film franchise I've ever had. You know, when I see sequels like Jurassic Park Dominion, I'm reminded of flawless franchises like Back to the Future. That was a flawless franchise.
Okay.
Until 2008, Indiana Jones was a flawless franchise. And then there was the red-headed stepchild that was Kingdom of the Crystal Skull. I do too. That's where a lot of people disagree with us and they insult us because I actually really like. So in my opinion, Indiana Jones is flawless. However, there's a 5th film coming out, so that could deter things. But like, you know, the Star Wars, the original trilogy, flawless franchise. Then we got weird. Then we got weird. Jurassic Park is the same thing. Because you had Jurassic Park, which was an amazing film. Then you had The Lost World, Jurassic Park, which was the sequel, and this completely revolved around Ian Malcolm, Jeff Goldblum's character, solid sequel, not as good, but good. And then Jurassic Park 3 was just literally a disgusting cash-in on the Jurassic Park name. They did bring back Dr. Grant in that movie, but it didn't connect. It was just an excuse to do another dinosaur movie. And then Jurassic World came out, and it was a decent film. Decent. It was what they call a soft reboot, where it was like sort of bringing back the original Jurassic Park, but also doing a continuing story, much like how The Force Awakens was in Star Wars.
Okay.
And then Fallen Kingdom, Jurassic World, Fallen Kingdom. And so, but this movie was kind of peaks and valleys, Yeah. If I think I was doing a grading scale last night, was I not?
Yeah.
Jurassic Park is an A+. The Lost World is A-. Jurassic Park 3 is C, solid C. Jurassic World is a B+. And Fallen Kingdom is a C. And I didn't tell you what I thought grading scale-wise Dominion fell into, and I'm giving it a B-. I thought, you know what,
That's pretty good.
It's not bad. It's not the worst in the trilogy. It's not the worst in the. But what do you call 6 movies? What eulogy is that?
Well, 6 is set.
Setology? Sure, why not? Of the 6 films, Dominion is not the worst. I still would say Jurassic.
Set or sec? Either way.
Put up the lady doing math things. But the point I'm trying to make here is that this was not the worst film. I still believe Jurassic Park 3 was the worst film, followed by Fallen Kingdom, and then it just goes from there. I actually enjoyed Dominion a little bit more than probably what most critics would say.
A lot of people did not like this
They didn't
movie.
like it. Well, because it was an odd conclusion to a huge franchise. It wasn't as odd a choice as the Rise of Skywalker was, because I thought that was a really weird and predictable choice to bring back Palpatine. But okay,
Fair enough.
But this one worked in that in the last film, spoilers if you've never seen Fallen Kingdom, they started panicking because they knew that they were going to have to live among dinosaurs now. And then for some reason at the end of this movie, they're cool with it. They're great with it.
Well, because most of them are in that reservation, not really necessarily with them.
True. But I mean, they're still out there. You saw in watching the last scene. Spoilers. The last scene featuring Alan Grant and Ellie Sattler. Again, spoilers. They're in Washington D.C. and a little girl's playing with a dinosaur just in the random in Washington D.C. Okay, this is all staying in, by the way.
No!
Flames on the side of my face.
It's some weird things, but it's like, okay, so we weren't okay then, but we're okay now. And that's where, because your friend said that it leaves more questions than answers. That was my question. It's like, why are you okay with it now? You were panicking at the end of the last movie. Why are you okay with it now? It doesn't make any sense, because there's still raptors out there. Blue is still out there.
With her baby.
Baby
Blue.
And Blue, won't kill Chris Pratt, but she probably would kill somebody else. So it makes you wonder, what's Blue gonna do? I don't know. But, it was, I whispered to you in the movie when Chris Pratt and Ron Howard's daughter were in peril, and then Dr. Grant and co were driving the big Jeep in the same direction. I'm like, they're on a collision course with wackiness. They were all going to come together, and that was what I liked. But what I disliked is why weren't they together more? It didn't really happen until the end of the movie.
Yeah, it basically was 2 completely different stories. Until like the end, and then.
You know what it was? It was a Star Trek: The Next Generation episode. Because you always have an A story and a B story. And a lot of the times the A and B story come together at the end to create one big story. And that's what happened in this film. There was an A plot and a B plot, and they came together to create one mega plot at the end of the film, and that was great. But yeah,
but like at the end.
But I wanted to see more. Yeah, but I wanted to see more interaction with Dr. Grant and Owen Grady, Chris Pratt's character. I wanted to see more Dr. Sadler and Bryce Dallas Howard. Claire, that's the character's name. You knew that, right? The redheaded woman who played Claire was Ron Howard's daughter, Opie's daughter.
Opie's daughter?
Yeah.
No, I didn't.
She just came out recently and said she's never seen a single episode of Happy Days. No word if she's seen one of my favorite shows, The Andy Griffith Show.
Hopefully she hasn't.
Well, she needs to.
Why?
Her father was adorable on that show.
400 needy boys in this county alone, or 1.5 boys per square mile.
There is?
It sure is.
I never seen one, Pa.
Never seen one what?
A half boy.
Everyone loves Opie. This is cruel.
Nip it in the bud.
Exactly. But anyway, the movie was, again, it was pretty good. It was great to see everybody. I know this has fallen on member berries and nostalgia, but you know what? It was a
member berries.
Member berries. That's a term.
What's a member berry?
As it means to remember. Remember that. Member berries. Little berries. Like remember this. Remember this.
That shit was ass.
But no, I know it really hung on the vines of nostalgia, but it was fun and it was great to see everybody back in. And again, this is why this didn't feel like it's a disgusting cash grab like Jurassic Park 3 was. Because Jurassic Park 3 was not needed.
You really don't like Jurassic Park 3, do you?
It's a fine film for, if you like. Well, you remember how your friend says if you like generic dinosaur movies? That is a generic dinosaur movie. It has nothing. It has nothing to do with the first two films. At least The Lost World has a slight connection to the first one in that. Well, I won't give away too much of the plot because you haven't seen it yet, but it connects to the first film. The third one doesn't connect to it at all. It's just an excuse to do dinosaur shit. And okay,
shit.
Fine. And then you start Jurassic World, which is like a soft reboot, and then it really is like, but it is its own story. And so you need those three films, a trilogy that, explains the whole story. So I give Dominion all the credit in the world for wrapping up a story, I guess. Like I said, it really doesn't wrap up the story.
It does.
How? You explain it to me then.
I mean, I guess I haven't seen the other one, so I don't know where you're necessarily coming from, but I mean, it had a beginning and an end. Like
now that's what this movie had, a beginning, a middle, and an end. But I mean, it's like, okay.
They just, at the end, they come to an understanding that it is what it is. And they're gonna make do for the rest of their lives like this.
I guess, but it's just what was odd about it is there is no point. I'm sitting here thinking, you're realizing this with me, that there really was no point to the movie other than it was the wrap it up story of Jurassic World.
Yeah.
All right, that's it. We'll see you next time, everybody.
They're not gonna try and mutate things anymore. They're not gonna try and recreate this thing anymore.
Yes, thank you. Okay, see, that's what I needed.
An unmitigated disaster.
That's what I needed. I needed someone to tell me what it... Okay, so they're done with the genetics.
They're done with the genetics.
They're done with bringing back dinosaurs. Basically, they're going to let them live their lives and then...
Yes.
Because we're on the verge of the end of humanity in this film, because there's all these... Again, spoilers. In every Jurassic Park movie, there's always this big, company that's trying to take over the world. It's misguided, because it's like we're bringing dinosaurs and we're trying to control the planet. So in this movie, Dotson, if you're a fan of the original Jurassic Park,
damn you, Dotson.
Dotson, who was briefly seen at the very beginning of the movie, he gives.
So sorry. I was thirsty.
Are you quite finished?
Stop it!
If you're familiar with Dotson, he shows up at the very beginning of Jurassic Park, and he gives Wayne Knight's character, Dennis Nedry, the Barbasol can in which to put embryos in so that he can transport them back, and they can do like black market stuff with dinosaurs. But he's only seen in that one scene. And then apparently over these 30 years, he's gotten invested in a big old company that he's the CEO of, and now he's... Biosin, that's the name of the company. He's created these like mutant grasshoppers that are eating all the crops. Locust, excuse me. Basically what the same thing.
No.
What's the difference?
It's one of the plagues.
But it's not a biblical plague. Dotson has created this plague.
Right, because he's made these locusts like super locusts.
But they're super, they're like this big, and there's millions of them, and what they're doing is they're eating up the crops all over the world, and basically Dotson wants to control the food population.
Because they're not eating Biosin crops.
That's right. They're still out there.
Yes.
So it's a whole hullabaloo. That's the A plot, I guess, because that's what Dr. Grant and Dr. Sadler are trying to get into. And then of course, we get into the, which if that had been a Jurassic Park movie, I would have been 100% behind that. I wouldn't have any, I would have given this movie an A if that was it. But we have to drag in the Jurassic World people. And if you recall in the last movie, there's now a cloned little girl. And Clive Owen, no, that's not his name. Owen Grady, Chris Pratt's character, whatever.
Owen.
Keep in mind, it is now almost 2 a.m. We're doing this show, and that's your fault.
Your fault.
Your fault. By the way, I think you wore this shirt. Was it not in the Batman episode?
Yeah, because it's Batman.
Right. Do you have any other wardrobe? I try to switch it up a little bit.
A few shirts that I like. I stick with them. Just continue.
Anyway, so Owen and Claire are taking care of this little girl as if they're her daughter, as if she's their daughter.
Their daughter, yeah.
They're taking care of her, and but like the Biosin group wants to get her. They want the baby from Blue because they hold the key to.
They have special genetic properties that could, I don't know what what the bad guy wants with it, but what they think they're trying to do is be able to cure cancer and Alzheimer's and dementia by altering people's DNA to not produce these mutated genes. Which is great.
Hey,
which is great.
Way to go.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
But they went about by kidnapping everybody, and that's not, and in the typical Jurassic Park fashion, that's not really going to work. So,
because I'm pretty sure they don't. That's one thing I will say. They don't really explain what the bad guy wanted with them. No, they did. They did tell us. They did tell us. Yes. I guess spoilers here as well. Maybe.
Just one big one. Let's not go too far.
They wanted to create a clone army for diamond digging.
That was
right.
It. They basically wanted to create slaves. Out of clones. So doesn't look great on you.
Slaves. Curing cancer.
Apparently, it walks hand in hand, according to the Jurassic Park, according to the Jurassic World movies. But yeah, so that's weird, and I hated the whole clone human thing from the last film. That's what gave that movie a C for me. Yeah. Because that was a dumb way to go in the movie. But so that continues on.
This had a lot of things that they were trying to accomplish.
There's a lot of moving parts. There was so much in this movie. Really, what they could have done is done a part 1, part 2 of Dominion. And
I think more people would have been a lot happier had they done that.
Yeah, or done 3 movies, like part 1 featuring the Jurassic Park cast, part 2 featuring Jurassic World people, and then part 3, that's when you have the collision course with wackiness and they all come together. Because
I think you might have been running for money at that point.
Yeah, well, but still, at least it would have branched out a little bit. In this, it felt a little rushed. It kind of reminded me of Aquaman. Aquaman was good, but it felt rushed because they were trying to pack in so much into one movie that you kind of get lost in everything. And so that was my issue, is that you kind of get lost in things, and there's a lot going on, and there just wasn't enough. And You know, movies like this are made for nostalgic purposes, obviously, because they brought back the Jurassic World and Park people together, and so you want to see more of them together, and you don't get a whole lot of that. You get it towards the end, but you don't get a whole lot of it leading up. They're doing their own thing through most of the movie.
You get one, you get two,
which makes it interesting because you can
almost the whole movie,
because
then
you can feel when the plots are going to come together, and it's interesting. But I wanted to see, like I said, I wanted to see more of them interacting. Like that's really cool. But
fair enough.
But we got some of that, and and the movie was entertaining. There was always something going on, and that's where I give it a positive review. But that's some of my negatives, though. And here now is the one huge. Wait, you mentioned another dumb thing for me. What was the other one? You remember?
The clone.
The clone. We did talk that. Yeah. But here's the one thing that I thought was so stupid from the whole film. Oh, excuse me. Two things. Two things that were stupid. One, spoiler: Dotson somehow got back the Barbasol can that was lost in the first movie. He had it in his office. You see it first. He picks it up and looks at it, and it's all misshapen and all
lost.
that.
It was buried in like mud
and dirt during a hurricane, Miss Pingrino.
Okay,
that shit would have been gone. It's been 30 years, Miss Pingrino. Where did he find it? Where did anybody find it? How did he get his hands on it? And I guess that's why. I guess in the end, Dotson and Dennis were successful because he found it, and that's where he was able to start biosin.
I told you there probably was some sort of tracker, or
it's stupid.
You know, because the original Amber mines are also in the movie, so maybe they wound up in the original Amber mines. Like, there's a lot of things that could have happened.
No, Miss Pingrino, that's stupid.
I didn't say
the Barbasol can didn't need to be there at all. And if you thought that was dumb, at the very end of the movie.
Sorry, guys, I didn't mean to trigger two things.
At the very end of the movie, in the courtyard of Biosin, there's this.
It's like almost poked me in the eyeball.
There's this round statue-looking thing.
Oh.
And it's raining. And for one split frickin' second, when the T-Rex, he shows up at the. He's in some of the movie, but then he shows up right at the end, and he walks with his arms out like this, and gets in front of the little circle with the rain in front of it for just a second to create the stupid Jurassic Park logo. That he makes the Jurassic Park logo for a second.
I thought it was cute.
No, he makes this. He makes that logo for a split second, and I'm just like, okay, you had me, then you lost me.
Bye.
That one was so stupid. But thankfully there was very few of those moments. There were a lot of cute moments. My favorite cute moment that's actually in the trailer is when the T-Rex shows up. Or no, it wasn't T-Rex. It was one of the bigger dinosaurs. The T-Rex's competition. What do they call it? Gignotosonophonican?
Rapanosaurus?
It's a giggity-saurus. It was a quagmire. It was a quagmire dinosaur. Look at him. No, it was bigger than the T-Rex. It was the T-Rex's competition. And when he comes out of the woods, and Owen Grady and Grant are standing there together, and they both say, "Don't move," because they both know from the movies.
But they know that a T-Rex can't see you. This is not a T-Rex, so how did they know "don't move" is gonna work?
I said it was cute. I didn't say it was smart.
Oh, okay.
But overall, I think the movie is decent.
So I was explaining, because I have not seen all the other ones, that I would probably enjoy it because it is a good dinosaur movie.
It is.
So
as like a generic King Kong Godzilla monster movie,
right?
It's really great. If that's what you're into, you're just in for the action schlock of it. It's a great movie.
As for someone who is in the series, who was looking for series continuation, completion, wrap up.
Yeah, it gets a little.
It lacks a little.
It gets a little muddled at the end.
Yeah,
and it's fine, but and that's why it's not the worst and that's because I mean it was
I
a
don't
fun
really
movie.
think it was that bad. Even I think even in context. I mean, obviously, I'll have to see the rest to be able to really judge that.
And oh, that might be.
Stay tuned to
that
this,
might be a hint of what might happen here, because Miss Pingrino's only seen one of the two now, Jurassic Park. And Jurassic.
I've seen the beginning and the end. I gotta get everything in the middle.
You've seen Jurassic Park and Jurassic World Dominion, so we got to get everything we got to get everything in between here as well. But that's why I don't hate this movie. It's definitely mid. It's mid-range for me. It's not the worst, but it's definitely not the best. But it's definitely not the worst in the series. I think I would rank this even a little bit higher than The Lost World. I enjoyed it that much, but I think I would give this. Okay, I would say Jurassic Park's obviously the best. Then I'm going to give it to Jurassic World. Then I'm going to give it to The Lost World. And then I'm going to give it to Dominion. I'm putting Dominion right there. So it's not a terrible score. So, Ms. Pingrino, would you recommend Jurassic World Dominion?
I would, for sure.
And I would too. If anything, just to wrap up the series, go get your nostalgia on.
It may not give you the full sense of closure, but it gives you enough of a wrap.
It gives you a hope. It gives you hope for the future in the Jurassic Park universe. So, and I think that's enough, really, for what you're looking for in this franchise. So, I give it a go.
Because that I will say is one thing. If they do try to make another one out of it, that's definitely pushing it too much.
Which I think they shouldn't. I think they should leave it alone.
There's really nothing.
There's nothing to go from here.
There's like a few things that maybe you could have explained, but not enough of a movie. But not enough of a movie. It would have been like a 15-minute movie to explain the rest of what they didn't explain.
Bottom line is, go see Jurassic World Dominion. I almost messed that up. Jurassic World Dominion.
Them things from Jurassic Park.
Well, Ms. Pingrino, I'm certainly glad to be done with the Jurassic Park / World franchise. It was great, it was fun, but it's time to move on to something else. Wouldn't you agree?
Once I watch the rest of them, yeah, probably.
Sure. Well, I guess we'll wrap things up. You hear that?
Yeah, I do.
Look at the water. Is it moving again?
Yeah.
It's not me this time. Oh no. It's the scariest monster that's ever lived.
Oh no. It's Steve's the cat. Oh, she looks so upset.